I'm Anil Kumar. Welcome to my series on fractions. We'll discuss one by one some interesting examples where we'll also learn different strategies to solve problems. You should feel free to test other questions in this playlist to get a better view about problems related to fractions and their solution. The question which we are going to discuss here is, I have a wire which is 3/4 of a meter long. We have 4 questions related to this. How long is 1/3 of this wire? B. How much wire do I need to make it 1 meter? This one is 3/4 of a meter. C. A project requires few pieces of 1/16th meter wires. How many such pieces can I get from 3/4 of a meter? D. 15 centimeter is what fraction of the wire I have? Now you can pause the video, answer this question and then look into my suggestions. Now we'll adopt 2 different approaches to solve these questions, and I hope one of them will suit you. The very first question is, how long is 1/3 of this wire? So whenever we use the term 1/3 of, now 1/3 means 1 out of 3. Of translates to multiplication of this wire. So which wire we're talking about? 3/4 of a meter. So we're talking about 3/4 and the units are meters. So that is how the statement gets translated. You see that? So we have 3/12 or, so some of you can cancel this 3 and 3 and get 1/4, right? So how long is 1/3 of this 3/4 of a meter? It is 1/4 of a meter. Is that clear to you? So that is what is the solution, right? So if I have a wire which is 3/4 of a meter long, you can think like this. Let's say this is 1 meter, right? So 3/4 really means, first we'll do half, half of half. So 1/4, 1/4 and 1/4. So this much, 1/4, 1/4 and 1/4, this is 3/4 of 1 meter, right? If this is 1 meter. So that is what we are saying. And what now we want to say, how long is 1/3 of this wire? 1/3, see now 1, 2, 3 pieces, correct? So of this wire, if I do 3 pieces, I have each piece length of 1/4 of a meter. Do you see that answer? So many ways we can look into it. Another simpler method is that we know that 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeter, correct? Now when I'm saying 3/4 of a meter, that means how many centimeters? 3/4 of means multiplication. 3/4 of 100. So 3/4 of 100. 1/4 is 25 times 3 means 3/4 means 75. So 3/4, 75. Now the question again here is, how long is 1/3 of this, right? So 1/3 of 75 is, so that is a different method. So let me show you in a different ink. Now think like this. How long is 1/3 of means multiplication? 75, this is in centimeters, correct? So 1/3 of 75 is 25 centimeters, right? Which is 1/4 of a meter. You get the idea, right? So 1 meter is 100 centimeters. And 1/4 of that is 25 centimeters. Perfect. So I hope you got good understanding of the question itself. And there are different ways in which this can be solved. Remember, whenever we're talking about fractions, equal parts is kind of important to understand. Okay, so 25 centimeter is definitely 1/4 of 100, right? Do you see that? So that is what we're trying to say. 1/4 of a meter, 25 centimeter. That is what the answer is. Okay. Now let's look into part B, which is how much wire do I need to make it 1 meter? Well, now it's very clear. We have 3/4. We want to make it 1 meter. I need 1/4 more, right? So we need 1/4 of a meter more to make it a meter, right? So that is one way of doing it. What is the other way of doing it? Well, the other way could be we want 1 meter, right? So 1 meter minus 3/4. So 1 minus 3/4 is, we can write 1 as 4/4 and then take away 3/4. So we get what? 4 minus 3 is 1, 1 out of 4. So we again get 1/4 of a meter, exactly same thing. Again, this is a different approach, but it helps. So if you are in middle school, you could really adopt any one of these methods to solve such questions related to fractions. Perfect. So we have also learned here two operations. Of means to multiply and more means we are finding the difference, how much more you need, right? The difference. Okay, C. A project requires few pieces of 1/16 meter wires. We have 3/4 of a meter. How many such pieces can I get from 3/4 of a meter, right? So now what we are saying here is we need 1/16 of a meter. How many 1/16 are there in 3/4? So one way to look into it is that we have 3/4 meter, but we want to make it out of 16 how many? So if I have to make it out of 16, correct, that is, we want to say like this. If I have 1/16, how many? Right? Clearly, to get 16 from 4, I have to multiply by 4. So I'll multiply and divide. So rather, we'll multiply both numerator and denominator by 4. And what we get here is 4 times 3, which is 12. So now again, how many such pieces can I get from 3/4 of a meter? Such pieces, 1/16 meter long. So we can get 12 pieces. Do you see? 12 pieces, each being 1/16 of a meter. Is that clear to you, right? So that is how we can interpret. So we have learned in a way to divide the fraction, correct? So basically what we are doing is that we have 3/4 of a meter with us and we want 1/16 meter. So what we will do here is alternate method. So we have 3/4. We are going to divide this by 1/16, right? So when I divide by 1/16, it really means what? It means 3/4 times 16, correct? 3/4 times 16. So the easy way to get this solution is you could multiply, get 48, divide by 4 to get the answer as 12, or you could divide first 16 by 4, right? So get 4 times 4 is 16. Now multiply 3 and 4 to get 12. Either way, we have 12 pieces which will be 1/16 of a meter long from 3/4 of a meter. You're getting it, right? So that is how we are going to interpret and solve this question. Last part is 15 centimeter is what fraction of the wire I have. Now, when we are talking about fractions, we should have same units, right? So when I say 15 centimeter is what fraction of wire I have. So 15 centimeter and what I have is 3/4 of a meter. 3/4 of a meter is 75 centimeter, right? So we have 3/4 of a meter, but 15 centimeters. We're talking about centimeters. I have to convert this to centimeters. 3/4 of a meter is 75 centimeter, correct? So 15 centimeter is what fraction of the wire I have. So it is much smaller than what I have. And what fraction? Now you can divide 15 by 75. Easy way is, I'll show you how. In systematic way, we'll divide. So we know this is can be divided by 5. 5 times 3, and 5 times 1 is 5, and then 15, right? Now we can divide these by 3 again, so we get 1/5, correct? So 15 centimeters, what fraction of 1 meter? It is 1/5, so it is 1/5. Right? So that becomes our answer. You can write like 1/5 or 1/5 of 3/4 meters. Is that clear to you, right? Or what I have. Now with this, we come to an end of this particular question, but we have similar good questions to solve in this playlist. I would like you to go through these questions and understand the techniques to work with fractions. I hope you understand and appreciate it. Feel free to write your comment, share your views, and if you like and subscribe to my videos, that'd be great. Thanks for watching and all the best.